Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the third episode of my new show called Beyond Survival on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. For those that don't already know me, I have a show called This is Floxed already that is dedicated to raising awareness for fluoroquinolone toxicity, also known as being floxed. I have been floxed since 2001, bedbound on palliative care, and need 24/7 care for my survival. Because of the questions that people always ask me, like, how did I survive? How did I stay mentally strong? That's what prompted me to do this second show, to hear other people's stories of going beyond survival. On each episode, my guests will talk about a situation that they had to overcome. How did they get through it? What kept them going? What lessons do they have to share with the rest of the world? And what is it inside of them that enables them to do more than just survive despite their less than ideal circumstances? My special guest today, and I'm so excited, is Laura Jackson. On May 14th, 2003, Laura was 14 years old and broke her neck while trying out for the cheerleading team. She was in the hospital for 7 months after that. Today, Laura is a quadriplegic on a ventilator and a motivational speaker, disability advocate, and social media inspiration. I have followed Laura for a few years now for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that my husband is a quadriplegic, and I was his primary caretaker for 10 years before I got floxed in 2021. So I definitely understand the life of someone who's a quadriplegic. And let me tell you, it's a very tough life. The second reason is I have never seen anyone more positive and upbeat than Laura. Her videos are always full of laughter, hope, motivation. Laura is living proof that your circumstances don't define you. Rather, your mindset does. She uses her life, her voice, and her brand, Move Your Mind, to challenge limits, spark perspective, and remind people that the life you build can be even better than the one you planned. If you're ever in need of a pick-me-up, check out Laura on TikTok or Instagram. And with that, welcome Laura to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, it's so nice to be here chatting with you.
I'm so happy to have you here today. You know, I've been very excited for this. I've been watching you for a long time, so I feel like,
and vice versa.
Yeah. So I think the best way to kick off the show is just, can you tell us more about what happened that fateful day in 2003?
Yeah. So I was 14 years old. I've been a cheerleader since I was like in the third grade. A few of my sisters were also cheerleaders, and I've been taking tumbling classes, and I was going into cheer tryouts for high school. And I went in, did a back tuck, and I guess fell weird and landed right on my head. So instantly I stopped breathing because I broke my neck at C1, C2, and breathing is at C3. So I instantly just stopped moving, stopped breathing, and here I am.
The moment where it changes forever, it's like literally in a second, you know.
You know that feeling, and it's very confusing at the time, and you're very I did not know that I was paralyzed instantly like that. I didn't know it could happen like that. And so it was very scary. I didn't have any air for 7 minutes. And so I feel really lucky that the paramedics got there as fast as they did, and were able to intubate me and start giving me, breath to my lungs.
Yeah, I mean, it's very lucky for anyone that's a C1 or 2 to survive, but especially back in the day, right? They know a lot more now to save people that have injuries like that, but back in the day, it would have been a totally different experience. I'm so happy you're here.
Me too. I feel very, well, just like you said, someone's looking over me, so I feel lucky for that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, speaking from experience with my husband, like when you first get injured, the only thing that anyone cares about is your survival.
Yeah.
Even you're like, I have to survive this. But then as time passes on and you start to settle in and realize I am going to make it, then you start thinking, what the heck am I going to do with the rest of my life? Like, how am I going to live like this? How am I going to be able to have a life? What were you thinking in that phase of your journey, especially at only 14 years old? You know?
Yes. So it's funny because I look back at that time, and it's really hard to comprehend that life would go on in a beautiful way. That I'd still would live a life where I laughed and I, had love and joy and all those things that we all want in our life. And it for me, it was one day at a time. It was one moment at a time. It was just, I remember I was laying in the, pediatric ICU, and I have a halo on. I can't talk. I can't eat. I can't drink. I can't move anything. And I'm stuck in this halo. And I remember my sisters, they blew up a latex glove and stuck it between my halo and my head with just the middle finger up. And I remember just cracking up. And I thought, okay, if I can laugh during all of this, like craziness and just like sadness, I remember being like, okay, we can still have moments of joy and love and laughter. And it was just, setting new goals. And I'm sure, like, with your husband and with yourself, it's a new way of life, and it's a new way of living, but it doesn't mean that it can't be meaningful.
Right. It's your new normal after that, and it takes a while to figure that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you say halo, do you mean the big traction circle thing?
Yes. I was like
Yeah.
stuck
You're
like this.
stuck.
So all I could move was my eyes and my mouth. And I was like,
How long did you have that for?
3 months.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And were you able, like, did you finish school like in school, or you did that at home?
So I broke my neck in May, and I was like a straight A student. So they were like, you passed 8th grade. And I was like, good. And then I was in the hospital for 7 months. So I missed the first semester of my 9th grade. But I was home. I got home December 9th, and I had a few weeks home. And then it was like, all right, you're going back to school, girlfriend. So, yeah, come January, like 5th or 6th, I got back up and got back. Well, I didn't get back up out of my wheelchair, but I got back up, to go to school every day. And I did after school, and I did summer school to make up the 6 months that I lost. And I graduated with my class on time. And that was one of the goals I really set for myself, was like graduate with what I should have. So I was really determined to do that.
Most people have issues graduating with a lot less obstacles.
Yes.
I would have been very proud if I was you too, and been
Yeah.
like, woohoo, look what I did.
I know. I was like learning how to use all the new technology and trying to like, explain math to my parapro and how to do it. I'm like, that was, I mean, I give them a lot of credit because it was frustrating for me. It probably was annoying for them. So worked as a team.
Well, it seems like you have a very supportive family, crew. You have a very
Yeah,
supportive crew. Let's just
yeah,
call it, because I know it takes a whole crew
it does.
to do this. So, yeah, has it always been that way since the beginning?
Yes. When I first got home, um, the nursing wasn't consistent. Like we didn't have night people. We didn't have, we had take people to take me to school, but weekends and evenings and nights, it was a group effort with my mom and dad, my three sisters, and then all the amazing just nurses, caregivers, family, friends. We were really, I have such a great community. I wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. So how did you end up on social media? And is this how your advocacy started?
Thank you. So I've actually been advocating for just since 2007, actually, my senior year in high school. That was like way before. I think Facebook was a thing, but not like what it is now. And so I've always been involved with advocating for whether it was stem cells, whether it was for, I helped raise money for a camp for kids with disabilities. So I've always been part of advocating for people with disabilities of some sort. But, I found myself on social media. I've always been on social media, but I never really pursued like doing the videos until COVID, like the rest of us, just straight boredom, in the house. And I was like, people might find this fun and people might, I've always liked to make people laugh. And so I was like, okay, I guess. Or, yeah, I mean, and even not just laugh, but think and grow. And I mean, I know that there's a lot of people on social media that I've also looked up to and admired and learned from. So I'm like, if I can maybe do that for somebody else, then I'm doing something right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to be on social media. It takes a lot out of you. It generally, I find that social media is positive, but when it's negative, it's really negative. But it's also a really good outlet to get your message out. So when you're trying to be a motivational speaker or be a disability advocate, you throw a video on TikTok and get like, a couple 100,000 views, so you got your message out, right? It wasn't like that back in the day. You're like, oh, we got to work through the telephone network to get our messages out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of people. I mean, just how you and I have connected. I've connected with, her name's Rebecca Colton. She's also a quadriplegic. And, we've met on TikTok. And I've met a lot of people that are, it's not like I'm always like, I'm the roller and I'm surrounded by walkers. So, and so I have friends in the area that are in wheelchairs, but it's so great that social media has connected people all over the world with similar disabilities, similar situations, similar thinking and whatever. Just it feels good to have that community.
Yeah. And it also just, raises awareness for other people in similar situations. Like one of the things like with my stepchildren was like, look, dad's still exactly the same. He's still the same person.
Yeah.
He just can't walk or use his hands anymore. And that's a very tough thing, like for people to see, like they hear you've been injured or whatever. And it's like, what is it like now? What are they, like, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm just in a chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's funny because it's so true. I mean, our bodies are different, but our minds are still who we were, and I feel grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. What's I gonna say? How did you get into how'd you get into all the funny videos? They crack me up. The lip syncing and the voiceover.
Yes. And I like that we all put our own, and that's just social media right now. We all kind of put our own spins on these trends and whatnot, and we relate it to our life. Because sometimes I go through my life and I'm thinking, you can't make this up, okay?
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, life is wild for everybody, but then sometimes I'm like, this is crazy, okay? This is just another day in the life of being a quadriplegic. And so I just thought sometimes like people might, I mean, especially other people, like there's only how many people are on ventilators. And so I love that I can just laugh at myself, laugh at the situation, and have a good time. Like that's, I feel like, we're here on Earth, and we all have things that we could cry about, right? And I'd rather laugh about it than cry about it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my stance. And so I kind of make silly videos, and I'm like, don't judge me about the weird things I do on the internet.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, my husband's a disabled veteran, so we spent a lot of time in the VA in the spinal cord clinic, and it's actually pretty depressing because a lot of people don't have that support. A lot of people, their spouses leave them, their children just lets like the medical system take care of them. And I knew that was never going to be the case with me and my husband. I was never going to not be with my husband just because of his accident.
Yes.
And I just remember thinking the the difference between seeing them. There used to be this thing called the day room in the VA where everybody in the wheelchairs would just roll in there and they'd sit in front of the TV. That's all they did all day. And I thought, oh my God, these poor people. And then I see my husband, who's more like, don't leave me in that day room, because that day room became like the symbol of of what he didn't want to be or be stuck in. And nothing against any of the folks that were in that day room. They didn't have a lot of the support that my husband did, but that's something that I always think back of and think of, when an accident happens like this, your mental state can go one of two ways. This way, that's like, in the day room, this is it, this is my life, it sucks. Or
Yeah.
you can say, I'm going to try to make the best out of it. And you've done that by far. So when we talked about this show and me making the second show, I told you when I messaged you, you were the first person I thought of. I said, Laura has to be on my show. I have to send her a message.
Oh,
I don't know if she's going to read it or whatever, but that state of mind, is just, we need so much more of that these days.
and I have seen, like you said, there's just different ways of handling all of these situations. And I think, especially having the support I do makes it a lot easier to have that mentality about, I mean, I laugh because, if I go live, people are like, do you get out of the house? I'm like, or they're like, do you get out of bed? And I'm like, thankfully, yes, every day. But then I think there's probably a lot of people that don't have that
Right.
opportunity to do that. And so I want to make the most out of the life I've been given, the support I've been giving the people in my life. I feel like I'd be doing myself and them a disservice of just not living life to my potential just because life doesn't look the way I thought it should. You know what I mean?
Right. And some people look at it when something like this happens, like even with myself, it's your second chance at life. What are you going to do with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So the question I have to ask you, everybody asks my husband, and I swear, like anytime someone sees you in a wheelchair, it's like, are you going to walk again? Do you think you're going to walk again? It's like the number one question. Hi, nice to meet you. Think you're going to walk again? So my husband's had some fun with answering those questions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How do you answer that question? How do you deal with that question? I'm sure you get it all the time.
Yes. And it's, not being able to move my arms or breathe or anything. People are like, do you still have hope? And the thing is I do. I feel like, and maybe I've come. There's been a journey, okay. There's some days and some years I'm like, okay, I guess if I live like this, I'll be okay. But even if I'm, still paralyzed at the end of my life, I'm always gonna say I always had hope and faith that maybe, I can walk and move again. Because why not? Why wouldn't I? I guess for me, it's like, and everybody has different beliefs on this, so there's no right or wrong answer. It's just my own personal feeling about it, I guess. But I'm like, I got a lot of terrible dance moves, locked up in this body, and whether it's here on earth that people get to see them, or, when we go to heaven and that I get to do that, then I'll be grateful then. But yeah, I always have to hold out hope, and that's just kind of where I sit with that, literally. But yeah, I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah, and I feel like if you don't have some kind of hope, how are you gonna make it through? Like, I feel like that's the only thing that carries me through is hope that I'm gonna recover from this one day. If I didn't, I would just stay in my bed and be miserable. You know what I mean? Like,
And I mean, what's it gonna hurt?
yeah, yeah,
I've always like my mentality is like I'm like I can walk again tomorrow or move again tomorrow, and like um there's no right or wrong answer, and there's miracles that happen all the time, and there's advancements in the medical field, and so my thinking is like I never say never, because never thought this would happen.
yeah. No kidding.
Yeah,
And I think that's the biggest thing, like when we're advocating, is to make people aware that your life can change in an instant. So enjoy it while you can. And
absolutely.
you hear people all the time say, "You only live once, YOLO, blah blah blah," but they end up spending all their time working, and I'm guilty of that. I spent all my time working, only being a caregiver, and then I got sick, and I didn't really get to enjoy life that much as I said, like, you only live once. I didn't actually live by what I said. Now I'm kicking myself in the butt because I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do the things that I wanted to. Maybe, I hope so. Like, I have hope like you, but I wish that I had lived life a little bit more while I had the opportunity.
A-
So,
Absolutely. And it's funny because there's nothing like a uh, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy mindset. Uh, and not to take that for granted during the times that you have that.
yeah, I think most people don't realize how important health is until it's gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to ask you too, because I can imagine your routine, my husband's routine. It's a lot. It's a lot involved, and the
Yes.
stuff that you have to worry about on a day-to-day basis is like so different from what other people worry about on a day-to-day basis. Me and my husband were like, we used to say like, oh, our friends over here are fighting about who left the laundry on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, our problems are so much bigger and serious that those were never issues for us, but
Yes.
you know, now that your life is settled in and you have this life and your routine, what do you think is the most challenging part of your life, and how do you stay so positive despite it?
I think the most challenging is just, I mean, and I'm so grateful, but I have people here that I can rely on, but it's to ask people to do everything. I mean, it's to itch my face, it's to, suction me, it's to get me dressed, it's to bathe me, and they do it so they do it with such care, and so I'm grateful for that. I think it's just, not having that independence. I left because I broke my neck at 14. And at 14, I have a nephew that's 15 right now, and it's like, you think you're an adult, right? It's like, you're totally good. I'm totally, independent, and I was a very independent 14-year-old, and so going back to like relying on everybody for every little thing is, sometimes you feel bad. You got to ask for everything, and it's, there's, no independence. There's no privacy, but I guess for me, it's that, sure, these things are not all. It's not like a fun thing to go through to not have the ability to move and breathe. But at the end of the day, I feel like I have to. I want to be grateful. I choose to be grateful because it could be totally different. I could have nobody that would help me, and I could have, passed away a long time ago. And so I feel like my mentality is always try to be grateful for what I have right now, because as we know, it could all change in an instant. And so even just for how wonderful life is and things are going smooth, everything could change tomorrow. So enjoy what you got, and try to laugh a lot and love a little, or love a lot, laugh a little. you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely get that. It's a conversation me and my husband have had many times about hating to ask for help. And now I'm in the same boat. I don't have to ask for help on the level that you do, but I need help for most of the things that I do. And when you're like, can you give me, I need, you're like, oh my God, are they gonna, are they gonna like walk out of here? They're so sick of doing stuff for me. And it's pretty funny. My husband he used to see me, like if I was walking around the house, he go, hey, he goes, 10 things. And I go, okay. He'd be like, can you do this? He was trying to get me before I sat back down.
I do that too. Yes. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, before you sit down, I was like,
Yeah.
all the things I need. And then, because then you feel bad. They sit down and like, oh, crap.
Especially when they sit down, like, oh, they sound so comfortable. And you're like,
I know.
I need this. Sorry.
Normally I'll like start spasming or drop my stick. I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just
Get it.
crazy life.
Yes.
Yeah. So looking back on your story now as an adult, and it's hard to answer this question for many people, but what is the best thing that came out of your accident? We obviously know the worst, right? What is the best
Oh,
thing?
I think it's funny because there's so much good that has come from my accident. I think the biggest one is, my family's always been really close, but this situation really, like, it puts into perspective what life is really about, and that how quickly life can change. And I think it's just the friendships and the people I've met over the years is the best part. And whether they're paralyzed people, whether it's all my nurses, my doctors, my caregivers, like, each person has held such a special place in my heart. And I realized I never would have met them had I not broken my neck. And so I think, and it's just the mentality over the years of, you know, learning that you can do more than you expect. You told me I could live paralyzed on a ventilator for 23 years, and I would have laughed so much and loved so much over these years. I would have been like, when I first got injured, I'm like, no way. But I really do think it's the friendships and the people that I've met along the way that have made all of this worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Have you had like consistent caregivers throughout the years too?
I have. I've been, so lucky. My caregiver, Michelle's been here 7 years.
Wow.
My midnight nurses have been here since the beginning, 23 years and 21 years. And
Wow.
I've had nurses from, you know, I just, I, and their family, they truly become family, and your best friends. And so I feel really lucky that I have those connections with all. I mean, and I have a different friendship relationship with everybody, but I feel so lucky that, um, we get along, we have fun, and sometimes we chill, sometimes we're out and about, sometimes just depends on the day. New
Yeah.
adventures.
Well, that says a lot about you too and how you are as a person, because generally, if someone is just too much to handle or like not a good personality, whatever the thing is, you'll have a high caregiver turnover. When you have people that stay with you this whole time, that's something different. That obviously shows that you care about them, they care about you, and you're able to have that relationship. I think that's the best kind of care.
Absolutely. It's a give and take, and they give a lot more. Uh,
Well,
I was like, maybe I help in being sarcastic.
no, I'm sure you motivate them and give them hope with whatever is going on in their life.
Yeah.
I'm
We
sure.
laugh a lot, which is good.
Yeah. Do they live with you?
No, I live with my parents, and then I have nurses and caregivers that come, like, either like between 24 hours a day and 21 hours a day, pretty much. So, like, it just depends. And then if if someone calls off, or we don't have somebody here, I am with my mom or my dad, or my sisters will come over, friends who know how to take care of me. So it takes a village.
Yeah, you really can't be alone when you're on a ventilator, so no. One little thing goes wrong, somebody's got to be there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm with somebody 24/7.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you said, then it's catch 22. You're glad that you have the care and
Absolutely.
you appreciate it, but at the same time, you have no privacy and it's, can you imagine like having like a day to yourself alone?
Oh,
Oh,
I live because I live in like a little cul-de-sac around here, and I'm like, sometimes I just go sit outside and we'll leave the
yeah.
window cracked open, or I'll have my stick and so I can call somebody. But I'm like, I like just go around the cul-de-sac, and I'm like, woohoo!
Before I get into the last question, is there anything that you want the viewers to know or to share about any of your advocacy efforts?
You know, I I guess for the thing is I always tell people because no one really thinks about these things like the wheelchairs and stuff on airplanes until they live it, right? And the thing about being, I read this quote once, and the thing about being, about the disability community is that it doesn't discriminate. You can join it at any time. So when people are like, oh, that's too much work to make that accessible. Or that's too much this, or they're asking too much. If this was your child or your best friend or yourself, you would not say that. And and the thing is that it's not that the world is incapable or not capable of being accessible. It's that the mentality around it is that it's too expensive and it's too difficult and it's too this and that. When the truth is that any minute this could happen to anybody you love or to yourself. And so I always try to have, hope people put themselves in other people's, you know, wheels sometimes and just realize that, the world, we live in a world where there's the technologies there to make things more accessible, to make things easier for people. And so I guess my thing is always try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes that you know is going through that, and realize that those are important things to a lot of people.
Yeah. And I have to ask, the stick.
Yeah.
How does that help you? Like, because I'm just thinking about my husband and the way he accesses stuff. How
Yeah.
does that? I'm asking for him. How does that help you? What do you do with it?
The mouse stick. Michelle, we grab my mouse stick, please? So my mouse stick, I use it for my phone. It has opened my eyes to um to all the things in the world I can do now. So it has a stylus on the end, and
Oh.
and so that's how I use my cell phone. And so I literally, like, you asked me about the videos. The videos I edit them all myself. Like
You do?
I do. Yep, with my mouse stick.
Doesn't
So
it hurt your teeth?
not bad, no. Hurt
No?
my jaw sometimes
Yeah.
because I'll be, you know, I was trying to grab it, I couldn't reach it.
That's okay.
Sometimes it's just out of the reach.
I know. You're like, give me a
I know.
little
Like, come on, Laura.
push.
Does your husband have spasms?
Oh my God, very bad. Yeah,
I
very
broke
bad.
I broke a wheelchair.
With your spasms?
Yes, it snapped in half. I was
Oh
like, do the
my
back bend.
God.
I
Yeah.
just got done telling my caregiver. I said, everything that's happened, I'm pretty chill. If I'm freaking out, there's a reason to freak out. And all of a sudden, I'm like doing the back bend. I was like, this has never happened.
Oh my God. They used to make my husband do the did they make you do that too? The band across like, because he would spasm and flop over. So they made him put like the band, and he's like, I am not wearing this fluorescent orange band. Like, there's no way I'm wearing this stupid thing in public. But he would spasm so bad. And like, one of the things he would do, it's so sad when I think about this, because I would be like, put that thing on, because I'm coming home from work and there's going to be like an hour where you don't have any care. He would like drive up to the wall and lean against it, and he'd wait for me to come home. So if he had a spasm, he always fell in the same direction.
Yes.
So he'd go against the wall, and he didn't have to wear that bright orange thing. There was something about that bright orange thing he refused to wear. Like, no, I refuse.
I'm a girl. I wouldn't wear that either. But I wear a seatbelt and I wear a strap, like underneath, like around my chest.
Yeah.
Strap to hold me in, because I really would not. I would be falling and flopping.
Yeah, and his legs will kick out so strong. They'll go up and they start shaking, and then they fall down. And like, I've put him to bed before, and one time he had a spasm so bad, and he kicked me, and like, I like all the air came, I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God, it's so strong. These spasms, you know, it's crazy.
It really is. Yeah, my muscle spasms, I laugh because I'm like, I'm strong.
Yeah. Yep. So the last question I have, I end every show with the same question. Can you give the viewers a message of hope that no matter what they're going through, there is still a way to carry on? Because you definitely are, and you are the definition of beyond survival. You are doing way more than just surviving. You're literally like thriving and living a great life.
Yes. So my life motto, move your mind. Because at one point, all I could literally move was my mind. I couldn't, move, breathe, eat, talk. And I thought, the only way I'm really going to get through this is if I just choose to have gratitude for the life that I lived, for the life that second chance I've been given. I always say this because people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I said, and I appreciate that. But I said, you've also gone through something horrible. And whatever you've gone through is the worst thing you've ever gone through. And it was horrible at the time, right? And it's not what you've been through, but how you move through it and how you come out of it at the end of it. So I really feel just grateful that I've been given another opportunity to have this life, and don't waste it. Don't waste your second chance. Don't waste your first chance, actually. So yeah, that's my motto, is just move your mind and keep going and keep pushing and keep showing up for yourself.
Yeah, because time waits for no one. The world keeps on moving with or without us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to add before we go?
No, I just thank you so much for having me, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
This is Laura's TikTok. She has a ton of followers, as you can see. So like I said, if you ever need a pick-me-up, if you're feeling like, I can't get through this day, please check out Laura. This is her on TikTok. And she also, her Linktree. I haven't seen your Linktree yet. And then the Instagram, your Instagram's pretty big too. So is there anywhere else people can reach
Or on
you?
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. That's right.
Yeah.
I saw you on Facebook too.
Yep. I'm on all the socials.
And do you do that all yourself? You're publishing all those videos on your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
I type it all out, all the comments, or not comments, but the posts and everything. I do it all myself. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's been great to have you here. I've enjoyed watching you over the last 2 years. I'm still going to watch you. I'm still going to reach out to you now and check in.
Yeah.
I appreciate you here, giving people hope, because there's people in a lot, like you said, everybody has gone through their own thing, but there are people that have been through things that are much less traumatic, that when they see what you're going through, because people have said this to me, well, if you can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think of when I see your videos and your messages, that's the inspiration that you give to everybody. So thank you for being on my show, for being inspiration. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on here.
Thank you, Laura. So that's my third episode of Beyond Survival. Tune in next month for the next episode and stay healthy, everyone. Thank you.
My Tummy Hurts by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Meet Jackie. She loves recess, running with friends, and laughing on the playground. At school, Jackie tries to play like she always does, but suddenly the pain comes back. Lately, something feels different and her tummy hurts, sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. With the help of a caring teacher, a nurse, her mom, and a kind doctor, Jackie begins to understand what her body is trying to tell her. Sometimes tummy pain is more than a simple bellyache. Some children live with conditions like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Jackie listens to her body. She asks for help. She knows she's not alone. And Jackie finds her way back to running, laughing, and being herself. My Tummy Hurts, a kid's guide to bellyaches and bathroom troubles by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, available on Amazon and in fine bookstores around the world. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Talia Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.